Welcome back. Here's Consuelo to read Chapter 4.
Chapter 4, The Green Ball. Sweetie, can you get my galoshes? They're in the coat closet. Nana was slouched down on the couch. Her face and shoulders drooped like she was carrying something really heavy. I opened the closet, reached out to pick her red galoshes, and noticed an ancient shotgun tucked away in the corner. I knew she had one, but I thought she'd stashed it in the attic, which made it so weird because Nana hated guns. I mean, she wasn't exactly vegan, but she always said that humans who killed animals for sport were barbaric. I picked up the galoshes, trudged to the living room, and plunked them down. What's the shotgun for? She stared like she hadn't heard me, like her mind was somewhere in another time, another universe. Last time I heard that rumbling noise in the attic was the last time I saw my boy. Her voice was hoarse. My gut pitted up. You mean the last time you saw Dad? She curled her lip. No, my other son from another planet. Of course, Dad. The animals were all excited, just like today. He said he was going to check out the attic. I said I would calm the animals down, and that's what I did. My mind raced back to that day, that night, that horrible night. Didn't you check on him? Nana rubbed her face like she was trying to erase something. He was up there for a while, but I didn't think anything of it. There were these old maps. When he was a kid, he used to pore over them, draw them, create new maps. I used to tease him. Tell him when he grew up, he was going to be one of those, map makers. I paced. The maps. My head was swirling. The maps might be the clue. The riddle in the Gandhi book. But what did truth, beauty, and goodness have to do with the maps? It didn't make sense. But things never made sense when you first got a riddle. That's why they're riddles. They're supposed to make you think. Maybe he took one of them, went somewhere. Nana shook her head. Nah, checked all of them. They're all there. How long was he up there before you checked on him? My voice was kind of accusing. She sniffed twice. I don't know, a couple of hours maybe. I went out, pulled some weeds, fixed a snack, and called him. When he didn't answer, that's when I went up. But he wasn't there. I couldn't figure it out because his car was still outside. Is that when you called Mom? She shook her head quickly. No, I didn't want to alarm her, in case it was nothing. I went out and looked everywhere for him, shouting, calling out his name. After an hour of that, and nothing, she turned her head away from me. That's when I called your Mom. My breath shortened. Nana, why were you in the attic the night Dad... Nana flung up her arms like she wanted to grab onto anything. I don't know why. I had to do something. Anything that might make sense of it all. Did you find anything? Maybe you didn't. There was nothing. Nothing was missing. I sat down beside her. I was sure she'd missed something. You're sure all the maps were there? Yes, I'm sure. She straightened her back and put on her galoshes. I don't want to talk about it anymore. She picked up her basket. Want to pick berries with me? Her voice was still shaky. I didn't blame her. I knew she probably blamed herself. I didn't want her hurting anymore. I wanted the hurting to stop too. I shook my head. Berry picking was the last thing I wanted to do. Nah, I'll just hang with the animals and read my comics. She nodded, but didn't move. Like she still wanted to say something. I don't want you getting all curious on me now. You don't have to worry about that. I kind of meant it too. That was one weird attic. Maybe it wasn't the attic that had the clues. Nana hadn't found anything there. I grabbed my backpack from the floor, unzipped it, pulled out a comic, and plunked myself down. Nana glanced at the attic stairs and shook her head. I should have replaced that door a long time ago." Then she frowned at me like she wasn't satisfied. "I need you to promise me you won't go up there." "Okay." I kind of shouted the words, then felt badly about it. I waved my hand at her. "Oh, so go already. I'll be fine." My voice was softer now. Nana left, and I nestled in to read my comic. Halfway through the comic, something rumbled. It came from the attic. I stiffened. Was this the sound Nana was talking about? Shango jumped up and headed straight for the attic stairs. "Come back here, boy!" But he was already up there. I walked to the foot of the stairs and called to him. Nothing. I know I promised Nana, but I couldn't leave my best friend up there. Maybe there was nothing in the attic. Nothing weird, that is. Maybe some squirrels had made a nest. I'd go up, get Shango, leave, and never go up there again. I climbed up the dusty attic steps, and they creaked like in a Stephen King movie. My legs trembled, and when I got to the top of the stairs, I peeked into the room. Shango was there, sniffing Nana's lacquered chest. "Shango, come here. Let's go downstairs, boy." Shango ran to my side and slobbered on my hand. He was panting faster than normal. I turned around to go back down, but Shango didn't follow. I was halfway down the steps when Shango barked. I raced back up. Shango was barking at Nana's chest, then howled. The hair on my arm spiked. I'd never heard him howl before. I scoured the place. On the left side of the room stood a big oak table where a bunch of old maps sprawled. Must have been the maps Nana was talking about. I walked over to the table. An exotic-looking key lay on top of them. I picked it up. It was heavy and cool, but I had no clue what it opened, so I put the key back down. I was clammy all over, shivering, wanted to leave this place. "Shango, let's go. I promised Nana we wouldn't come up here." But he looked at me as if to say, "You did, I didn't," and continued sniffing. "Let's go to the kitchen. There's a treat with your name on it." I smacked my lips to entice him, but he just kept sniffing around the chest. This was so not Shango. The Shango I knew never said no to food. I stared at the chest. This chest was the most beautiful piece of furniture Nana had. Come to think of it, it was the only beautiful piece of furniture she had. Maybe she kept it up here to protect it from the animals. I walked a little closer. Ivory carvings of strange-looking animals and people stood out against the dark wood. I felt drawn to it like it had a magnet or something. Mumbling. There it was. Sounded like it was coming from inside the chest. I stopped. Didn't move. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just like Sensei said to do when you were scared. Said the breathing helped with the courage part. Shango whimpered, sat, stood, panted. The mumbling stopped. "Let's go back down, boy. There's nothing here." The mumbling started up again. It sounded like words, but maybe not. Sort of like someone's mouth being muffled. I couldn't make it out. Was something trapped in there? If there was something, maybe I should let it out. My legs felt rubbery, like after I'd done 100 squats at the dojo. Shango whimpered louder. I edged closer. The murmuring stopped. I waited. Still no voices. Waited some more. Everything seemed back to normal. Shango scratched the chest. If some animal was stuck in there, I just couldn't leave it to die. I decided to open it up quickly, then run downstairs. I tried the lid. It wasn't locked. I lifted the lid a little, held my breath, then pulled. The rusty hinges protested. The chest flung open and I ran to the steps. didn't even bother to see what was inside. Whatever was inside could now get out. But Shango didn't follow. I went up the stairs and peered into the room. Shango had his head in the chest. "Shango, let's go." He kept sniffing. Something had caught his attention. Was it the animal? I took a few steps toward him. "Come on, we gotta go back down. Nana will kill us if she finds us up here." But Shango jumped into the chest. "No, Shango, get out of there." I raced to the chest, thinking crazy thoughts like something in there might swallow him up. When I got there, Shango jerked his head up. He had a green ball in his mouth and wagged his tail. The tension drained from my body. He jumped out of the chest, pulled the ball down, and started barking. That was Shango speak for, "Let's play." I held my breath and peeked inside the chest. Baby clothes. I exhaled. Dad's baby clothes? They were so tiny, so cute. I took a jumper out and nuzzled my face in it. Something mumbled. Oh my God, it was the jumper. The jumper had mumbled. A paper fell out. I tossed the jumper back in the chest, shut it, and picked up the piece of paper. It was folded. Another clue from Dad, maybe. My heart throbbed in my tight throat like I wanted to bust out. Maybe it wasn't the jumper that mumbled. I had to get out of here. I turned to Shango. The green ball was still in his mouth. But I didn't want to play. "Let's go. We'll play downstairs." He put the ball down, started barking and wagging his tail. I nodded. "Okay, boy, one throw, and then we're out of here." Everything was quiet. I breathed in and relaxed. But I couldn't wait for downstairs and unfolded the paper. The giant burns red. It's sick and dying. Oh my God, the sound had come from the paper. I flung it. "The shield protects Star Dim from dying." A voice, no, a chorus of voices coming from the paper. "A seeker comes. Despair is rife." Shango was barking, wanting me to throw the ball, enduring trials, struggles, strife. I tossed the ball, crazily thinking it might get the voice to stop. The ball softened like it was turning into mush, and the voice from the paper continued. "Imagination must they wield, for battle's legion in the field, when courage finds its sword and shield." The ball wobbled. It contracted into a tiny dot. "Then truth, made bare, shall be revealed." What was happening? This was insane. The paper was still in the air, the ball, or whatever it was. Whoa! The ball suddenly expanded in the air like a 6-foot wide amoeba. We had to get out of here. "Pretenders beware! No, Shango, for if you dare..." But he was already in the air, on his way halfway through the distorted ball. "Jehelia will find you." I darted toward him, stumbled, reached out, grabbed onto his hind leg. "In her snare." The roiling energy pulled him in. I yanked on his hindquarters, and he yelped, but I couldn't budge him. I couldn't control it. It drew me in too. It was like a tornado or a giant whirlpool sucking me in. I pulled harder. From my eyes to the back of my skull, a sharp pain seared. All was black.
Please join us next time when Consuelo will read more from her book. If you'd like to contact me, you can email me. You can also visit my website, lorrainesiegel.com.